Hey, do you remember about a week ago when I posted a video on the second to last day of January going over all of the drama and the controversy and the discourse and everything that goes on that qualifies to check things off of my bingo board in January? And I said something in that video where I was like, but given that we still have a few more days left of January and it's still going to be January tomorrow, there's probably going to be something else and I should have waited until after January ended to post this video. After posting the video the very next day, on the very last day of January, I checked 3 more things off of the bingo board. So I think it's safe to say that I've learned my lesson and I am going to wait until the month is officially over. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted January to be over and it was not ending. January took so long to get through. I thought we might as well have been going into 2026. But the things I checked off at the board, I checked off my first Dramini box. I can't believe I was like slightly impressed by you people for not doing something in January. Y'all did do something in January. It was a whole thing. So the Dramini thing. Okay, there's a really, really popular, beloved Dramini fanfiction that's like Dramini Handmaid's Tale fanfiction that is called Manacled. I always have to pause and think about Manacled whenever I say it because I want to say Manacled so badly. Manacled. It's like top 3 Dramini fanfics in the fandom, I think. There was so much drama revolving this particular fanfiction for like years. I even noticed. I'm not in the Harry Potter fandom. I don't keep up with Dramini like that, but I knew about Manacled because people kept illegally selling copies of bound Manacled fanfiction. Like, it's been a thing for a while. Anyways, Manacled got pulled from AO3 because it's being traditionally published. It's being re-edited. It's being a whole thing. It's not called Manacled anymore. It is now called Alchemized. And in January, there was the official cover reveal, which is where the January Dramini drama happens. AI was used for the book cover. Now, the author of the fanfiction, like of the works, did not create the cover. I don't think they knowingly had AI involved in the book cover project. However, AI was still involved because the cover designer, the artist who created the cover, openly, proudly, casually admits to using AI in their work. So I don't think it was like 100% AI generated, but there were elements that were AI generated, and you can tell with one look at the fence, it's melted and weird and ugly. AI is really, really bad at lines that are right next to each other, like really close to each other. It doesn't know what to do. It's kind of pathetic, actually. So that's what happened in January to check off the first Dramini baby box. Then we get into the third occurrence of an author throwing a tantrum over a negative review. This officially checked off the entire box. And this one was like quite a doozy because it's like there's a lawsuit. There's a booktuber on here, Biblio Obscura. Her name is Kat, and she's posted 2 videos about this because the author and people related, like connected to this author, are going after her hard. Like, she is being actively harassed, and it's not a little, it is unsettling and weird. It's so unsettling and weird and just like embarrassing. I don't understand how these people never recognize that this is embarrassing to do. So Kat, Biblio Obscura, was an ARC reader and gave a 3 out of 5 star rating and very thorough review for this one book, Lilith, by Weinlo Borges. 3 out of 5 stars. She even padded it a little bit. She wanted to give it like a 2 or 2.5, but rounded it up because it was a debut author. And in her review, she goes over a whole list of the things that she liked and a whole list of the things that she did not like. And she gave her content warnings and she went about her life. It was posted to Goodreads. Was the author tagged? No. Was it a mean review? Also no. 3 out of 5 stars. And she immediately got hounded by like a lawyer from representing this author, threatening to sue her for the contents of this review. She had to deal with a lot of nonsense from a bunch of different anonymous accounts that may or may not be puppet accounts or just like really close friends to this author or just like weirdly involved fans. There's so much back and forth over email regarding the legality of any of this. And she posted a video about this, like 20 something minutes long. And I'm going to link it here. I'm going to link both of her videos here because she did a follow-up where things get worse. In her video, it's thorough. It's just as thorough, if not more so, than her book review. There are screenshots. There's a timeline, a distinct, clear timeline. She also wears sunglasses in different ways to represent different characters when she's doing conversational reenactments. It's a whole thing. That's part one to everything that's going on. Part two is an hour long because it goes through what led up to after the events of the lawsuit situation, where now these people are threatening to dox her and still trying to move forward about like this lawsuit situation because of a singular 3 out of 5 star review on Goodreads. And so obviously Kat went back and edited the review and mentioned the harassment that's being done to her from this author and this author's team. But this review was like removed from Goodreads. Because here's the thing, and this is something that I think more people need to know about. I understand the draw for wanting to point out like what an author's doing in these Goodreads reviews, like specifically because it's like really popular. A lot of people may not know when they're going to look at this book. You want to spread that information out there, but you need to know that if you are going to go on Goodreads and leave a review and mention anything having to do with not the book, anything having to do with the author's behavior or their beliefs or anything, Goodreads will at some point pull that review. They'll get rid of it. They'll disappear it on you because you should only be talking about the book according to like Goodreads policy. It happens all the time. I see it happen all the time. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen eventually. They're very picky about this. They're very strict about this because they've been doing that for years. This policy has been unchanged. These practices have been unchanged for years. And last but certainly not least, the third thing I checked off, it was something I wasn't expecting to check off this early in the year. I checked off the AI Bookfluencer box, which is kind of scary. I like threw that on there a little bit haphazardly because I was like, I think it'll happen, but I didn't like mean it 100%. And then it happened, and I'm just like, oh, what's even crazier is that I like stumbled across this situation on accident myself. I was not tagged in anything. I wasn't sent this. I found this. It found me. So let's talk about it because not to toot my own horn, but I think I am quite deserving of the Book Talk Sleuth title. And my mom brought it up when I was explaining my evidence that I had gone out searching for in the car. So let's go through this. I was minding my own business on Threads. Do you see why Threads bullshit was the free space box? It's always there. An author named Liz Parker posted this like screenshot of an Instagram DM interaction that they had with a bookfluencer named Read Sophia. I ended up reaching out to Liz directly asking for like the full screenshots of her entire interaction with this person. And she sent me a screen recorded video of the entire DM interaction before she blocked this Read Sophia person. So I can actually go through the entire interaction, which starts off with Read Sophia reaching out to Liz Parker first, saying, "Hey Liz, I hope you're well. I've just discovered your book and am excited to share my thoughts and ratings on social media. Would you be open to me reviewing it? Please let me know if we can proceed. Best regards, Sophia Smith." Liz Parker responds, "Hi Sophia, always happy to have reviewers review my books." Then we get to the part that was in the initial screenshot that was posted to Threads where I found all of this. Sophia responds, "Sure, here's my proposal. It's $35 plus book costs for number 1, Instagram timeline post. Number 2, Instagram story with swipe up link. Number 4, don't know where 3 went, Instagram highlight post. Number 4, I think that's where 3 went. Goodreads review. Number 5, Facebook blog post. Number 6, Amazon review post. Best regards, Sophia Smith. Immediate follow-up. Would you like to move forward, Liz?" Liz said, "Oh, I don't pay for reviews." You should have said that up front. This is shady as hell. In fact, if your reviews cost money and you're not putting that your Instagram posts are ads, you're actually in violation of FTC guidelines and are breaking the law. This is where things start to be really weird, and what piqued my interest in going down the rabbit hole of AI Bookfluencer, because in a follow-up post on Threads, Liz posted a screenshot and was like, "Oh, I think this is a bot." Because in response to being told that she is potentially breaking FTC guidelines and also the law, Sophia responds, "Would you like to see some examples?" Posts a couple of screenshots about her analytics and says, "These are some books which I recently reviewed. I get 25K plus reach on each post, and my services will help to rank and increase sales for your book." Liz says, "I'm reporting you to the FTC." Sophia says, "So, are you interested to move forward?" To which Liz just blocks her. Because that's not how a person really should be responding to being told that they're being reported for violating FTC guidelines and also the law. So I looked into this Read Sophia person and saw something interesting. Let's start off with Sophia's Instagram photo, her profile picture, which is actually just Victoria's Secret Angel professional model Taylor Hill. I actually went through Taylor Hill's Instagram to find where this photo came from, and it's a selfie posted on July 21st of 2019. So there's that. But I mean, having a celebrity as your profile picture is not a crime, is not AI specific behavior. My profile picture on Blue Sky is Tsukimi from Princess Jellyfish. But that's not her, and usually when you're an influencer building up your own brand identity, you put a picture of yourself or something. Now let's get into the actual account, which is like weird. I did some snooping. I went down to where like the very first post of the account would be to see like what's actually been going on and how long it's been going on for, because this is an account that has 54,000 followers. The very first post on the entire account is also the only non-book related post. It's from December of 2023 and is a captionless photo of a girl holding up hand sanitizer. The very next post is where all of the book review posts start, and that's all this account does. It's just book review content, and that stuff happens on March 8th of 2024. But here's the thing, on March 8th, on that first day really active as a book specific account, they didn't post just one book review. They posted 10 back-to-back in a singular day. Then on March 9th, the next day, they posted 46 book reviews. On March 10th, the next day after that, 46 book reviews again. March 11th, the very next day after that, 94 book reviews were posted back to back. I counted all of these myself. I even double checked because I thought there's no way. At some point, I had to have just gotten confused and just jumped ahead a few dozen numbers. No, 94 posts, 94 book reviews on March 11th of 2024. Then there's a few days break. On March 14th, 48 posts. On March 15th, 47. On March 16th, another 46 book reviews. And then there's a shift, because here's the thing. For the few 100 book reviews that were posted between March 8th and March 16th, they had 0 likes and 0 comments. Now, you're not able to comment on any of the posts on this account. Comments are limited on everything, which is strange for an influencer to do, to have an entire platform where you can't engage beyond likes. But this account was also getting 0 likes. They didn't have anything. Every once in a while, like through the endless mind-numbing scrolling, you'd get like one stray like on a singular post out of the few hundred. But then on March 16th, on a day where she posted 46 times, there are 2 posts that are right next to each other. And this emphasizes a stark difference, where on the second to last post on that March 16th, 0 likes. Then on the post immediately after, still on March 16th, over 500 likes. Then from that point on, not only does the frequency of posting book reviews drop dramatically to a kind of normal number, but also every single post after that consistently gets around 500, anywhere between 400 and 600 likes, which is still low for an account that has over 50,000 followers, but still something. After March 16th, she's only posting a couple of times a month, and it's always like a singular book review in a singular day, sometimes 2 in one day, and is still active currently. This goes into 2025. But even then, the nature of these book reviews is weird. There are so many duplicate book reviews on this page. There are some books on here that show up like 5 times across like a few weeks, and it's typically the more popular titles. But then in the more recent posts, in the more recent months, that's when you start to see lesser known, less mainstream, less traditionally published works. You're starting to find more indie books. And what I think is happening, I think this is an entire scam account that is obviously created by a human person, but run mainly by a bot, specifically like in the Instagram DMs, but also like in the content creation. Because I don't think a person is even going to hit the upload button 94 times in one day. It's so automated. It's so obviously automated. I think someone saw that there was money to be made somehow, some way, to some degree from scamming indie authors into paying for book reviews and book promotion. I think this person bought a bunch of followers, because that's the other thing. I looked through their follower list. It's just a bunch of other bots. This person made an account. They pulled up a Victoria's Secret Angel's photo, bought a bunch of followers to make themselves look like a legitimate influencer account, and then dumped hundreds of book reviews across like a week in order to look legitimate and like long standing in the community for any indie author who went to like double check to make sure this person was legit and just like scrolled through and saw hundreds of book reviews. At first glance, this looks like a perfectly normal, almost like mundane-ish, like Bookstagram account, but it's so clearly a bot. Like, this is not a person running it. This isn't a person. And I feel bad for any authors who like paid this person thinking that they were getting their book promoted to a large scale audience to boost their sales. They're getting their books promoted to a sea of like pixels, and I'm glad it's only $35. Can you imagine if this went into the hundreds, which I know is something that plenty of big name influencers do, plenty of real people influencers. Much to think about, but that was January and it was weird. So far nothing's been checked off of February, which, hey. So of course, as always, if you see anything, let me know, because I don't know what I don't know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what your last 3-star review was. Let me find mine, because so far this has been like a really good reading year. I'm actually really scared for my first like 3-star review of this year. So far it's just been 4s and 5s, and that's so good. 2 out of 5. I do not hand out 3s at all. What is my problem? Oh, yes I do, because my last 3-star read was Pride and Prejudice 2, an unofficial sequel written by Ash Dillon, which is so deeply unserious. It's a continuation of Pride and Prejudice, obvi, but it's like actually deranged. Darcy and Lizzie are newlyweds, and they have these magical private journals that Lizzie doesn't know are magic yet, but they're magically linked. And so Lizzie's like trying to be a writer. She wants to get into writing. And so she goes to write a fictional story, but then she ends up writing fan fiction about herself and her new husband, Darcy, getting freaky. And it's like, oh, she's just writing smut. And honestly, good for her. But what she doesn't know is that the journals are linked. So Darcy has been reading fan fiction smut about the two of them, like, for weeks, and like he hasn't told her. He's just been enjoying it silently because he wants to read more of it. But then he takes inspiration from the fantasies and the desires she's putting into these books, and then he reenacts some of it. And this book is for the freaks. I don't know what else to say. But part of what makes this book so much fun, there are 65 mentions of Darcy's cravat, and also a whole section that like cuts over to what's going on with Jane and Bingley as newlyweds, where they have taken up breaking into people's houses as a hobby. Rich people who deserve to be like robbed, and it's like foreplay. And then they get involved with like a ghost that lives in a painting. Pride and Prejudice 2. Look into it. Happy February.